Inside the Cave now brings you the official store to get all things Cave Crush and Inside the Cave at cavecrushshop.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cave Crush and like our Facebook page, Cave Crush Shop.
Turn that up a little, yeah, like that. Enough of the bullshit. It's time to go inside the cave with CB, Joe Dirt, Big Dog, Sid, Cousin Lamar, International D and Cat, and Valley Vale featuring Roland, Charles Hurd, and now introducing Sly.
Coming down. Boy.
All right, this is how we're gonna start it off. Sly, the host of Ladies, Let's Talk About It Facebook group. Sly, what's up?
What's going on? What's going on? It's the Facebook group. Get at me, Sly-Fi Ross on Facebook, across all social media, Sly-Fi Ross. What's going on?
Everything good, everything good. Sid is back.
What up? Yeah, I'm back. Had a little hiatus last week, but I'm back down. What up?
Please Report podcast on iTunes, Google Play Store. Doing real good. We'll talk about that later on the show. Rolling.
What up?
And I am CB at I'm the Real CB and Black Bill O'Reilly on Instagram. Check out that new page. We are Inside the Cave, and since the beginning of Inside the Cave, we have been taking shots at one sector of this group, the South. And today we owe him an apology. Our brother, the country rap tune, Big Dog.
What's up with it, man?
Roll Tide. Reason why I introduced you last, because I had jokes ready for Alabama, because I just knew y'all was gonna drop the ball. And man, y'all stepped up last on Tuesday night.
Still firm.
Man,
That's what we do.
Roll Tide, motherfucker. So everybody that's been listening Inside the Cave from the beginning know that we've been taking jokes, the outhouse jokes, and all type of southern jokes. I'm telling you right now, I had some good family fucking, some cousin fucking, all animal fucking jokes. I was gonna talk crazy about Alabama.
Hey man, don't be so hard on your family, man.
I had some jokes.
You know, your folks from the South too now. Deep in the woods of Mississippi.
Yeah, it ain't from Alabama though. But hey,
deep up in the woods of Mississippi though.
Today ain't about that though. You guys did, man. Y'all did y'all thing. We'll talk about that more in the show. Hey, today on Inside the Cave, we got McCann Speaks from Instagram, public speaker, 5-time author, calling in. We talking black excellence. We talking black responsibility, black women responsibility. We talking a whole bunch of stuff today on Inside the Cave when McCann Speaks calls in later on in the show. But before that, everybody listening to Inside the Cave, go to the Please Report podcast after you get done listening here. Deep show, great show. Roland, go ahead and give yourself a little quick promo real quick. What that's talked about on the Please.
This week's show had a great interview with a young lady. If you're not on social media in the Truth Circle, you might not have heard about it. But this young lady about 3 months ago confronted her molester at a funeral repast, and it ignited fire, and a lot of people were sharing it. And she reached out. I put her on the show, and we made history. We had a great interview. You might want to check that out, man. A lot of things that are in the black community, covered in the dark, that you might want to listen to. I believe that everybody either knows someone or heard the story of someone who's been molested, and that's women or boys and girls. It doesn't have a gender preference. Molestation is molestation, and it's pretty deep.
Hey, and this is some feedback from my coworker Terry, man. Terry told me, because he listened to it on iTunes, And he said, hey, what men don't understand, let me say exactly how he said it, was verbal feedback. He said, a man would never understand what a woman goes through being put in an uncomfortable position until a man is put in an uncomfortable position. He wasn't joking. He said that he was put in an uncomfortable position at the gym. He a smaller dude. He said a man tried to get at him at the gym, and he said that's when he understood. Yeah, he said a man tried to get at him at the gym, and that's when he realized like he had to fight the dude off. Like, man, I'm not into you. Like, get off me. Yeah, wow. Yeah, man. So,
wow.
Something to think about, man. Yeah, but check that out, the Cleves Report podcast. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. So let's get this show started.
The first segment.
It's time for the warm-up.
The A block.
Let's work it out.
You got 30 seconds.
On Inside the Cave.
We got a lot to talk about in the headlines of this week and stuff like that. I'm glad Sid is back. I got one for him too. Let's get it started with You Got 30 Seconds. All right, I'll start with Sly first. Sly, Jada Pinkett was not happy about Tiffany Haddish not being nominated for a Golden Globe. You heard about that, haven't you?
Yeah, I heard about that a little bit, yeah.
All right, Sly, you got 30 seconds to name 3 Jada Pinkett movies. The clock starts right now.
Set It Off, Baps, and
Jada Pinkett was in Baps?
No, hell no. That's how
no damn Baps.
I'm starting to feel like Cat now, man. This stupid ass second.
I thought she was.
That was
your clock's still going.
All right, Set It Off.
Lyrics.
And Girls Trip.
Low down dirty shit.
Girls Trip. Yeah. Jason's lyrics.
Thank you, man.
That nigga said Baps.
Thank you, man.
Halle Berry, Jada Pinkett, same height.
There's a big difference between Jada Pinkett and Halle Berry. All right, here we go. Sid, I've been waiting to tell you this one for a minute. All right, Chicago is getting the NBA All-Star Game in 2019 for the first time since 1988. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. You got 30 seconds to name 3 NBA All-Stars from the 1988 All-Star Game that wasn't named Michael Jordan. Clock starts right now.
Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, and I'm gonna go take a stab here. Larry Bird.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't even. I made it too easy. I shouldn't even say. I forgot that. Damn you! I made it too easy for you. Cat made me dumb down this game. Yeah, you got it. I should have said not Magic.
No. Cat should make you just get rid of this shit. How you give a person 30 seconds to come up with 3 things? You know, typically you got 15 seconds. The whole idea is to rush them. You give a motherfucker you got 5 minutes to come up with 3 Jada Pinkett movies. Motherfucker Googling their ass off. What you talking about, man?
No, it's not that. It's really not that hard, man. All right, here we go. Roland. R. Kelly's Atlanta home was robbed. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, I did.
All right, Roland. I know you're a big fan of R. Kelly. You got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to name 3 things that R. Kelly is missing from his Atlanta home. Your clock starts right now.
I believe he's missing that little urinal thing that you see him when you're at the hospital. His VHS camcorder. And I believe he may be missing
a Barbie doll playhouse.
Oh, or maybe his bowl of suckers.
Oh, you guys are so wrong for that, man. Wrong for that.
Hey, real talk though. You remember when he did that Twitter hashtag and that shit went crazy?
Yeah.
Man, people on the internet are so creative, man. They immediately roasted his ass. I couldn't believe how they were so creative to think of all that shit they was coming up with.
All right, let's move on real quick. Big Dog, I know how much you love this game. Alabama elected a Democrat for the first time in 25 years to the Senate. You heard about that, I'm sure, haven't you, Big Dog?
Nope.
Well, Big Dog, because we love you and we love the state of Alabama, you got 30 seconds to tell us all the great things about Alabama. Your clock starts right now. Right now.
I was great.
I don't blame you.
I'm giving you 30 seconds to promote your state.
Me, motherfucker. I'm the best thing about Alabama. Roll Tide. College football.
But you ain't there no more, so maybe that is the best thing.
It might be.
I know one great thing about Alabama.
What's that?
Is that they will allow you to score a touchdown when they miss a field goal.
Oh, that's that bullshit. No, I definitely know who get my kid yourself and start over.
Yeah, that was low right there. That was dirty there.
Okay, well, I actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I can't wait to get to kill yourself. So, hey, but Sid, I'm gonna give you the one I had for D real quick. A fan threw an object at Michael Bennett during the Seahawks and Jaguars game.
I didn't think that was Michael Bennett. They threw something at it. It was somebody Jefferson.
Okay, I remember Michael Bennett actually trying to run in the stands.
That wasn't. That was somebody. Okay, go ahead. Come on.
Michael Bennett was protecting his boy because after he was trying to protect him, he got something poured on him. He got beer or ice through at him.
Michael Bennett started all the dumb shit. Man, I'm Seahawks garbage, man. Come on, whole ass.
But anyway,
I'm some crybaby. So I lose a motherfucker. Man.
Sid, you got 30 seconds to name
3 crybabies in the cave.
No. 3 players who went into the stands for a fight in a professional game.
Antonio Davis.
3 players.
Antonio Davis, Artest, and Steven Jackson. That was easy.
Got him. And that was this week's You Got 30 Seconds. Great job, fellas. Great job. All right, let's get into this around.
I told him this is the worst shit ever, man.
Yeah, you have to eventually let this one go, CB. You come up with something else, something better.
This is a goddamn game show or podcast.
You know what? I would. Hey, you know what? I would, but the people like it, and I don't do this show for you guys. We do the show for the people, and the people actually like it. So no, I'm not going to.
He asking 2 or 3 motherfuckers while they in the bathroom with the urinal. Hey man, hey, y'all heard this week?
You got
y'all heard that? You got 30?
You got any feedback?
Hey, Black Bill O'Reilly.
Let me know. What's up, Sly?
They kicked your girlfriend out the White House, huh?
Yeah, I'm a Rosa. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's get into this around the cave.
Uninterrupted, undisputed, and unedited. It's time to go around the cave.
All right, Sly, go ahead, man.
I ain't got nothing other than sorry, dog. Talk about Alabama, man. I'm glad they stepped up and came out. But what was crazy was that the black women, or the blacks period, was voting for against more than the white women were.
Say it again.
The blacks, the black women were voting, came out in numbers more than the white women did to vote against Roy Moore.
Oh, you're such a smart guy, Sly. Oh man, you would think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You would exactly. Thank you, CB, for starting it off. You would think that the white women would come out and vote against Roy Moore in numbers because he's accused of going after pedophile, harassing young girls, teenagers. So what it comes down to is that black women end up saving white women kids.
Oh man,
I think you got that backwards, though.
You know,
if I'm not mistaken, it was 98% black women that voted for Doug Jones, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They went. You would think it would have been
the other way around.
The other way around. You know, like it would have been more white women voting for him than black women.
Why would you think that?
He just analyzed it for you because Moore was accused of being a pedophile.
Man, them motherfuckers down, they're crazy, man. I don't know.
You know, and white women, I believe white women, and these was college educated women that, when asked, only spoke about the abortion, his views on abortion, that he was pro-life, and that's all they cared about. So it's okay for him to touch and grab on your baby, as long as he's pro-life. You know what I'm saying? Even if your child is raped, your little girl is raped by a man like him, he's okay to put in the Senate because he's pro-life.
And most people don't care nothing about nothing, because as long as it don't happen to them. When it happen to them, they care. If it ain't got nothing to do, if it don't affect them, most people don't care.
Great point, Sly. I'm gonna add to that when I get my turn. Sid, you got anything this week?
No, I ain't got none. I got to kill yourself to start over. I ain't got no 30 seconds.
Cool. Big dog.
No, I'm good.
Rolling.
I think I'm a pass.
All right, cool.
Good, because I was ready to get in your ass.
Well, first of all, around the cave is you supposed to say what you got to say without interruption.
Yeah, in a minute. Right. Don't worry about it.
Listen, all I know is the moderator of this show better start getting some goddamn shit together, or we just gonna have to fire him. Put Dog in charge.
Woo!
All right.
Woo! Talk that shit.
All right. So for my Around the Cave, I like to bring in my alter ego, the Black Bill O'Reilly. I remember when I was younger, I remember being in the barber shop right after Bill Clinton won the 1992 election. And remember the barbers talking about how disappointed other white men were that Bill Clinton won. I remember one barber giving his theory that all the white men voted for Bush, but their wives, daughters, girlfriends, and mistresses voted for Clinton. That brings me back to the Alabama election for the Senate, which happened Tuesday night. While everyone on social media wants to give black people, and specifically black women, credit for Doug Jones turning Alabama blue, the numbers don't prove that. If all the write-in votes went Republican, the black vote wouldn't have mattered, because there's not that many of us. Who dictates elections in America? It's white women. How did Trump become president? White women. How did Obama get elected twice? White women. How did Oprah become number one? White women. White women are the ones. It's not a white man's world, it's a white woman's world. They can get you into trouble and they can get you out of trouble. And that's my Around the Cave. Now, Roland, I know you always like to fact check me. Am I right on that?
I was gonna say that's the dumbest shit you ever came up with, man.
Okay, how?
I let a lot of stuff slide, but your fact checkers is sick of your shit. Listen, your numbers are skewed. Just because there's a lot of white people, don't mean they control who gets put in office or not. The fact of the matter is that you have to look at it from the aspect of who's coming out to vote. If your theory was correct, you're actually wrong, because most of the people voted, white women actually supported Moore.
It's not true.
So, and same thing with Clinton. They supported Bush. So your theory is 100% wrong. I see where you're going with it, and you saying the sheer numbers, but that's not correct. Because in both cases, the percentage of white women who voted the opposite way you're trying to say was more. It was a higher percentage. And that's what the facts show.
Okay. I like my story a little bit better.
Thought-provoking ignorance with special guests and Cave Crush interviews. Inside the Cave. Now that's how you podcast.
Inside the Cave.
Are you enjoying this episode of Inside the Cave? Well, get your ass up and rate us on iTunes. Inside the Cave Podcast. 5 stars or kill yourself and start over.
Get the latest in cave fashion at cavecrushshop.com. That's cavecrushshop.com.
Follow Inside the Cave on Instagram at Inside the Cave and at Cave Crush for the hottest women on the planet. Like Inside the Cave on Facebook, Inside the Cave Podcast, and follow Inside the Cave on Twitter at Cave Crush. Inside the Cave. Thought-provoking ignorant guy talk with special guests and Cave Crush interviews. See something effed up? Talk your shit, kill yourself, and start over on Inside the Cave.
All right, Sid, what you got?
Well, I want to get kill yourself and start over to this doctor from the UK. He was doing liver transplants for patients, and once he replaced their liver, he brand their liver with his initials.
Huh?
Yeah. He would brand their liver with his initials. Gonna get a chance to get through the whole article to see how they found out. But yep, I'm gonna get him to kill yourself and start over. That's some fucked up shit. That's some screwy shit.
Damn, in the UK. All right.
Damn.
What you got, Sly?
Or kill yourself and start over. I can't think of a good one, man. I can't think of anything good for kill yourself and start over right now.
Don't worry, I got 3 of them. Don't worry about it. All right, what you got, dog?
I got the Clears report and the Black Bill O'Reilly.
Well, I agree with you on one of them, but go ahead.
How 2 motherfuckers gonna complain about a segment and then do the very thing they complain about? So for that reason, I give both of you assholes a reset and start over.
Sound about right?
All right. Well, me and you do agree on one of those things. Before we let Roland come in here and stir up some shit.
What did your asshole?
No, I agree with you on the Clears report. Back off of something the Minister Jap said last year, and I just now really agree with. He said that he was talking about women that go to Flirty Girl Fitness, and he called them hoes and stuff like that. And you know what? I totally agree. All the women who go to Flirty Girl Fitness, I'm sorry, you get kill yourself and start over. That makes, you know, since we all about balancing out men and women nowadays, and men getting fired for not treating women equal and stuff like that, let me show you how ridiculous that is for you to go to Flirty Girl Fitness. You're learning how to strip. Stripping is a whole job. All right. Yes, it's entertainment, but it's a whole job. Most strippers, 99% of them sell pussy. So you're someone who has a decent job or not in that lifestyle, but you're learning how to be one. Like, yeah, kill yourself and start over. Let me show you how ridiculous that is. Let's just say a bunch of corporate guys went into this fitness place called Dope Boy Fitness, where they teach you how to stand on the block with some Timbs on and run from the cops and hop fences and stuff like that, and they call it exercise. How to run through the trap house and get away with it, and how to duck shots and stuff like that. Wouldn't that sound ridiculous? It's the same thing. So if you like Flirty Girl Fitness, then you should like Dope Boy Fitness. Both of them sound stupid. So I'm giving all y'all to kill yourself and start over. And finally, my last one is going to Roland. And the reason I'm giving Roland, last week Roland came on Inside the Cave, and he was talking about how supporting LeVar Ball. Now here's the reason why he's getting kill yourself and start over. Because someone like Roland can support LeVar Ball, but criticizes President Obama. You mean, how could you, make me make some sense out of that? You can support LeVar Ball for being a black version of Donald Trump, but you have no support for President Obama, someone who came from nothing and ended up being president of the United States, regardless of his politics. He came from nothing and went to and played the white man's game to the highest point. and you don't respect that, but you respect LeVar Ball. Nah, brother, no passes on that. Kill yourself and start over.
It sounds like to me that you have misconstrued my message. You tried to cut and paste two different things and trying to make it sound like something else. That's not the case.
So what's the case?
Well, I mean, if I have the floor for 60 seconds, I will gladly clear all of this up.
You got it as long as you want. Nobody else, everybody else done.
30 seconds in, goddamn it now.
All right, well, I only need 30. I respect the story of Obama in the context of that. But when you're talking about the black face, that everybody, the hope that he was peddling, that he was going to somehow save Black America or somehow save the lower class, that was a load of bullshit, and he never delivered on any of it. So, okay, and as far as no, I got the floor. So as far as LeVar Ball goes, I told you he was 100% a clown. I said all his antics is bullshit. I said the only thing that I will support from that man that everybody is feeling uncomfortable with is that the fact that he is going against the grain, and he may be an evil genius, and all of this shit may be an act, because at the end of the day, I don't believe that none of his boys is really NBA talent, and he took fool's gold, and he's getting ready to get paid off of it. And he's sending his boys overseas. He's not going through the NCAA, which is already paid slavery, where the boys get a free education, but they get pimped by the NCAA. So I support that he's going against the grain. But him as a man, and the fact that he's raised 3 boys who ain't fucking drug dealers and out there shooting up shit. Okay, so
one of them a thief. One of them a thief.
Yeah, that's what I said. I stole when I was in 5th grade. Shit, everybody's trying their hand at stealing.
He ain't in 5th grade.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you all this question. What's harder to do? Play in the NCAA or get to the NBA or become president of the United States as a black man?
Man, listen.
Which one's harder?
That's a straw man's. That's a straw man's argument. CB, that's some bullshit. That's a straw man's argument. Obama was fucking bred for that job. That's why he even got the position, because he came up through the ranks. He was chosen to be with Michelle. She was his superior, and he came up through this. He was only a fucking senator for a fucking hot minute. Nobody does that. He was handpicked. Don't talk to me about politics, bro. I do this. That shit, I'm not saying it's easy and he didn't come from nothing, but his fucking pedigree got him there. You act like that nigga went to PS 123. He went to fucking Harvard. Man, get the fuck out of here with that. Okay, it's impressive, a black face. See, that's what our problem is. Just like that video that everybody is sharing about that black kid who got in a fucking Yale. Everybody's celebrating that shit. And yeah, that's nice and that's fine. But guess what? Why is it that we so fucking happy to get in their shit? Why is it we celebrate getting close to them? Why don't we blaze our own fucking path, set up our own schools, and be leaders to us instead of to fucking them? That's the reason why I don't got no fucking respect for Obama, because he didn't do shit. Okay, CB, you made a valid argument about him doing something for the economy, and yes, overall, but that shit didn't benefit fucking black people. That shit benefited everybody. That benefited white people too. I'm talking about
that's his job. Wasn't that his obligation as the president of the United States?
But that's not the ghetto. But that's not the bill of goods he fucking sold us. Every fucking black person.
No, that might have been the bill of goods you interpreted.
Yeah,
that don't mean that was the bill of goods.
He never
man, get out of here with this fucking Obama apologist bullshit, man.
Did he run on that? Show me where he said he was running on that.
I didn't say he said it. He sold hope. Okay, you can't have a double standard.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you know politics the way you say you do, what was you expecting?
I wasn't expecting shit. That's why I called it out from the gate. I called it out from the fucking gate, bro. Y'all just met me. I've been doing this shit for 10 years, bro. I don't fucking, man, listen. My views didn't happen just yesterday. I'm not on this bullshit ass Dr. Umar Johnson truth movement. I've been doing this shit before you even heard of a Dr. Umar Johnson.
Answer the question.
Yeah, hold on.
I said I expected exactly what the fuck he did because he's a puppet.
Roll it. Hold on.
Man, get your panties out of bunch. Your voice getting a little your octave, man. Your shit is like all the way through the roof.
Yeah, his octave been up for a little minute though.
Yeah, you gotta relax, bro. Hold on. Because you got.
Is he foaming at the mouth?
You smart. You make great points. I just need you to break it down. This is not 501. I really want to know. Tell me, when did Obama run on or campaign as being Black Jesus? Because I don't remember.
He did not. You missing what I'm saying, fellas. I'm not saying he campaigned on that. When you say hope and it has a black face attached to it, I'm talking about what every black person understood. They might have been wrong. Man, can I finish?
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. How come every time somebody black achieves anything, he's got to carry the whole weight of everybody black?
Yeah.
I mean, he got to carry the weight of the race of the black people. I mean, I just don't get that.
Well, yeah, maybe would you expect a do-rag in the mail from him or something? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get expectation that he was supposed to just do so much for black people personally, strictly for black people and black people only. No, he wasn't perfect.
I mean, like,
I understand that. But that's the way it sounds. Man, y'all sound dumb. When you attach the black face to the word hope, that's on you that you interpret it that way.
I didn't interpret shit. Whole time out. I didn't interpret a fucking thing because I didn't go out there and vote for his ass. Then you missing what I'm saying, bro. What I'm saying is that that's the way it is. And if you want to talk about what a president is supposed to do, then why is every white president always setting policy for white people? Rich white people, they doing it right now. So what do you mean he wasn't supposed to set nothing for black people? Yes, the fuck he was. He was supposed to give them something.
Tell me, what kind of policy could he possibly set that's going to benefit blacks only?
Man, how the fuck do I know? I'm not no trained politician.
But that's my point. What the fuck are you talking about?
Man, listen.
Y'all want to make that same argument, and when you ask
y'all a bunch of Obama apologists. I don't have no ill will towards the man. I already know how politics work, so I don't care. But the point of the matter is,
sound like you care a whole lot.
I'm about to say you care to a degree, or you wouldn't be so upset now.
Yeah, because
you
get this kind of reaction out of you. I was. This was actually supposed to be funny because I just want to understand how you can respect what LeVar Ball is doing, which to me is a mockery of everything, and but don't have no kind of respect for what anything Obama did, which to me was damn near, which was impossible. Like we can all do what LeVar Ball did. We can all do that.
Not necessarily.
You got a kid. All you got to do is find somebody that'll listen to you. We're doing it right now. We found people that'll listen to. We not radio guys. We not radio guys. But if you can find, LeVar Ball is a pastor. You can get a congregation and find a bunch of marks that'll listen to you. But to get to become president of the United States, like people, ESPN, Stephen A. Smith and Colin Cowherd made LeVar Ball. Okay, if it wasn't for them two, we wouldn't know who the LeVar Ball is. A guy from the
How are we even putting this in the same category, man? First of all, let me clear up. Let me clear this up right now. I don't have no feelings about what is being said about Obama. Let's get that straight. Where my voice goes up 3 octaves is because I got 4 people coming at me on my stance on this dude. Listen, I don't have no problem with this dude. Okay, that was a huge accomplishment. I get it. But what I'm trying to say, fam, is that I don't put those two in the same stratosphere. If you want to look at it as some big accomplishment of course, that was a huge accomplishment. He set history. I get that part. It's not the same thing as LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball, some clown ass dude with 3 kids trying to make him play basketball. I can support both, or I can support neither. You understand what I'm saying? So for y'all to be trying to come at me about this Obama shit, y'all already know my views. So it seemed like an ambush to me. So yeah, I got a little bit defensive and my voice went up a little bit. But what I'm saying is that these arguments are bullshit to me. I'm not trying to change y'all mind about this. This is what I fucking believe. I don't know what the fuck he was supposed to do. All I'm saying is when he campaigned on 2000 on the Hope thing, that the way it was perceived by black folks was
okay.
He was going to do something for us because he was black. That's the way they took and voted for his ass. But y'all can't keep denying that like that wasn't disingenuous.
All right.
Okay, so I'm done. Can I just ask one last question? Can I ask one last question? Why are you
Go ahead.
Why are you rolling so against Obama?
Just like when I brought CB on my show, this is what I said. I said, listen, just like I wanted to give a kill yourself and start over to the voters or the people who keep supporting this against Roy Moore thing. Like somehow black folks won something. I just don't get our admiration and our how we are all sold out for politics. For thousands of years, politics ain't done a fucking thing for us. I understand being part of the process, and I know that people, you need to go and cast your vote and get the right people in there to set certain policies. I get all that, and I respect all that, and I leave that up to the intellectuals. What I'm saying is that why do black folks pin all of our hope on a political position? Nobody seems to be doing nothing else other than hoping we vote for the right person. So every time we vote somebody in and they let us down, like for instance, I've heard many of people say on the internet saying, "Oh well, the reason why everything is messed up and Trump was able to get in is because for 8 years we took a break. We got complacent because Obama was in. We put it in cruise control and all this other shit." Just like I told CB, man, I'm not against y'all. I'm not against Obama. What I'm saying is stop putting your fucking hope in politicians and do what the fuck you got to do on the grassroots level. And push community, push unity. Man, politics divides. Either you're on this side or that side. We should be coming together as a people and fuck politics. That shit's gonna play out the way it's gonna play out. That's why I get so excited, man, because I love my people. I want us to come together and fuck these politicians, man. They not going to. The system is broken. A man's not going to save us. It's the system that's fucked up. So we have to make things and set up businesses and community centers and shit on our own, separate from the system. That way we don't have to rely on the system.
Listen to Inside the Cave now on iHeartRadio for more thought-provoking ignorance. Listen to the Cleese Report with Ro now on iTunes.
Welcome back Inside the Cave, InsideTheCavePodcast.com. Thank you all for listening. Last segment got heated, but we're going to probably get into some more heated topics and debates with our next guest. First of all, make sure everybody go check out the Cleese Report podcast. Real good episode last week, so make sure you check that out as well. ShopCaveCrushShop.com. All right. Our next guest is a 5-time author, international speaker, and I just really catching on to him myself in the past couple of weeks. Real deep brother. M. Chan Speaks on Instagram. Great following, a lot of deep stuff on there. Welcome to Inside the Cave, B.F. Nkrumah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man. All right, the reason why I wanted you on, and the first post that I saw, and we're gonna have everybody else come in. You asked, are black men responsible for black women's negative behaviors? And that post was like went viral, and I was like, oh, this is real deep, man. Could you explain to our listening audience what you mean by that?
Definitely. Now it goes both ways, but I don't like to deal with both sexes at the same time, so I deal with one at a time. But in that video, basically, I'm talking about how a lot of men are praising women for behaviors that they also condemn at the same time. So, you'll say you want a good, wholesome woman, yet the only thing you posting on your Instagram or liking is Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. And it seems as if the women who are the most immoral are getting the most attention. And nowadays, look like, the strippers are getting guys to marry them and all kinds of things. And that seems to make a lot of women who don't or didn't live their lifestyle that way feel like, damn, all the bad girls is winning. Maybe I got to start showing my ass just to get some attention. Maybe I got to strip just to get some attention. Maybe I got to do certain things just to get some attention from black men, because it seems, not saying that it does, because it seems as if majority of black men are liking these negative behaviors. They're liking the ratchet women that's on TV, and they're liking all of the negative women that are in the on TV shows or on love and hip hop or entertainers or rappers and singers and things of that nature. And so it makes a wholesome woman feel like, what I got to do to get a black man's attention? And then some of them end up acting out those behaviors just to get our attention. And so the point was, maybe if we cannot say or condemn these women when they start acting a certain way, if you also like it at the same time, it's hypocrisy. It's a deep hypocrisy.
It's a double standard.
We want to go to the strip club. Yeah, we want to go to the strip club, but then we want to condemn the woman for being a stripper. That's hypocrisy.
And it's crazy.
And I agree with you 100%.
Me and Big Dog just had this conversation yesterday. Me and Big Dog was on the phone talking about stuff like this, because a lot of women don't understand that what a man like on social media or lust as is not the same thing that we would want to bring home. But where I fall
better example, when the females see a guy married to a woman and they be like, well, I wonder how she got him, because she be totally the opposite of what they think the man wants.
Right. But here's why I want to ask you this, though, because I know I heard in my family women speak saying they want a corporate thug. And I used to ask, what is a corporate thug? Well, I want a guy who's educated, smart, businessman, loves his family, but can also be thuggish, ruggish, a little bit of hood. I'm like, wait a minute. What is this, a meat market? You want to pick? This ain't this, this is ridiculous. So I think when women say that kind of crazy stuff, because I don't understand how you can get a thug and then say I want him to be a Harvard graduate as well. Like, that doesn't, like, I never seen that example. Wow, well, look at Jay-Z. Okay.
Well, that's me.
Okay.
I'm the corporate thug.
Okay, explain to me how you're a corporate thug, because I don't think you are, but explain to me.
I'm feeling what you're saying already.
I don't identify myself as a corporate thug, but as somebody who's been to prison and somebody who's been entrenched in the streets, but then yet go to college and get an education and graduate top of their class. So it's like, I'm a very intelligent dude, but yet I got a PP number. So that's what some of the women are talking about. It's not something that you see all the time, but I would fit that mold.
Okay, now. Okay. Well,
can I just push this a little bit further?
All right.
Can I just push this a little bit further? That's why I said about the men. It works both ways, because women can also glorify the drug dealer to the point where men feel like they got to do certain things in order to get the woman's attention. And so the black women can also be the cause of the black man's negative behaviors also.
Right.
Hey, you know what though? You gotta give a little of that blame to social media also.
Definitely, but it's the people who are doing it. But
yeah,
even before,
exactly,
even before social media, women still was chasing after running after the drug dealers with the money and the jewelries and the cars and all of that, and making guys feel like, I'm a working man is a sucker,
Yeah, exactly. But social media kind of amplified it too. I think it kind of took it to the next level.
A million times amplified. Yes.
This is Sly speaking.
What's going on?
I'm all right. You briefly touched on these internet girls, the strippers, selling down and getting married. The question is, can a hoe become a housewife now? In this day and age, can a hoe become a housewife? Even though men, we've always thought that you can never turn a hoe into a housewife. Is it
Hell
possible?
no, that's pimp rule number 1. Nigga, shit, what kind of question is that? That's 100 years, 2,000 years, you couldn't turn no hoe into a housewife.
I'm saying things have changed, and this point of view this girl was making, she said, she admitted she was a hoe, and she had her hoe years, but she said, and doing that, I was able to date multiple men. I know what I like. I know the personalities that I can deal with, and when I settle down, if I settle for someone that's not making 6 figures, then I really like that person. Meanwhile, the person, the female that can't find a man that's got a good steady job is miserable.
A hoe is a hoe.
Well, I wouldn't personally do it, but I can't say that a woman cannot change. I mean, I was a hoe, and then I've been celibate for 4 years. So if I can change, and as a man not have sex, I know a woman can do it also. Now, that's not to say I'm going to go out there and wife the woman who used to be super promiscuous, but I'm not going to say that she can't change. If there's a man who will overlook her past, which there are many, because I see it all the time, I'm not going to say that she's going to continually be sleeping around while she's in a relationship, because that's what she used to do, because I know men who have changed their lives. So if men can stop sleeping around, I know women can do it also.
So that kind of falls in line with what you touched on earlier then, right?
What do you mean?
As far as you know,
the hypocrisy?
we kind of, we put out one thing that we like or don't like. You know, we like it and we condemn it at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's hypocrisy for us to want to sleep with a bunch of women and then want a woman to forgive all the women that we've had sex with, but then we don't want to forgive how many men a woman has slept with. So it's more hypocrisy on our behalf.
So
hypocrisy that I'm honestly okay with, because I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't deal with the woman that built with everybody.
Right. Nah, I agree. Hell no.
Now, you spoke on celibacy. How long you say you were celibate?
4 years.
Wait. You went celibate for 4 years?
Yeah. I went 4 years. Yeah.
Explain to us how you did that and what you mean by celibate.
Cold showers.
Penitentiary?
Nah. I was home. I wasn't in the penitentiary. I wouldn't even consider that celibate if you can't have sex. But how I did it is just I'm busy doing work. So I fall into temptation when I got too much free time on my hands. And so as long as I'm doing something actively out there, doing different things, and I'm not drinking, because it was the drinking that really turned me into a real sex-crazed animal. So I stopped drinking, and I mean, it wasn't hard. And then I started dealing with a woman who was a virgin, so that made it easier for me also. So
what year was that? What year? You met a woman that was a virgin? Like, how old was she?
They virgin.
Yeah, she was in her 20s. She was in her 20s.
They still make those?
You believe it?
Yeah.
You believed it? No, I'm not trying to talk about it, because I don't know if that's your woman or nothing like that. I just heard her.
No, I believe her. Yeah, no, I believe her.
I no disrespect. Okay.
No, it's all good, man. I don't get offended that easily, man.
Man, he disrespect and then say no disrespect.
No, because I just like I said, I never.
That's how we do it. That's how. Whenever somebody say with all due respect, they about to disrespect you, man. You know.
Pretty much, yeah.
With all due respect, your mother's a bitch. You be like, dang. I said with all due respect.
Okay. 4 years, and I was like, okay, pause. Did you masturbate, or what? Did you whack off? Like, what?
You don't know sex life like that, John? Damn.
I'm just saying, like,
little boy.
What kind of how you
thinking about doing this, CB? Because you got a lot of kids over there.
Nah, I can't do it.
You can do it, man. You got to understand a higher purpose in life. When you're doing things for a higher purpose, you'll sacrifice some of the things that you like. So I first started my celibacy off just, because of my relationship with God. And then I went from that to just, damn, I can't be out here doing all of this positive stuff, calling black women queens, yet I'm treating them like concubines, So I can't be doing that. And that's going to continue to further the relationship between black men and black women, because I'm sleeping with her and then it just continues to cause friction. And as somebody who's building a black race, sleeping around is not conducive to nation building.
you know? So I got a higher purpose in what I'm doing. So I got to change things that I do, even if it's sacrificing something I like, because what I'm fighting for is a whole lot bigger than some recreational time that I enjoy.
Man, what you just said was so powerful. Somebody that I really like, and I'm not going to mention their name, had a scandal similar to that.
So me and Rolla, I was thinking the same thing, man.
Yeah, and to me, I don't necessarily look at the man as being any less than because of it, because many men have failed to that temptation. But what I do want to is I don't want to put you on no pedestal, brother, but I do want to elevate you to say this, is that is to be commended. And for me, I have an 18-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old daughter who are both still virgins. And I pray that they can make it into their mid-20s and meet a man like you, that they can find somebody who's celibate and that, or even a virgin, they can walk off into the sunset with, man, because with this world as it is today, there seems to be no hope for that. The way they building kids now and how we're over sexualizing our children, man, it just seems like this world is going to hell in a handbasket. So the work that you're doing is to be commended, and I'm glad you're on this platform.
Yeah, and we got to be intentional about it, because we have no problem telling our daughters to keep their legs closed, but then we tell our sons to keep their zipper down. So we got a hand in this. You know what I'm saying? So I used to run a mentor program, and I had classes for boys and classes for girls. They were separate classes. And when I was putting them together, I started putting together the abstinence class for the girls. And then my hood street mind said, I can't teach these young boys about abstinence. Why would I do that? But then my conscious mind had to kick in, like, why can't you teach these boys about abstinence? And it just goes to show how deeply we get ingrained with negative concepts of what it means to be a man, whereas I'm okay and comfortable with telling the young girls to be abstinent, but it's still a part of me that doesn't even want these young guys to be abstinent. I want them to go out and sleep around. But how can we have thoughts that we want our girls to keep their legs crossed and the boys to sleep around, and those things be within the same race? That can't work. Somebody has to compromise somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we got to get over it. Go ahead.
No, well, here's the thing. When you set out to set the class, I'm not saying you did nothing wrong. You did what you was trained to do. But here's the thing. In both of our, because me and you are on the same page, and our intellect where we're at now, the first person we should have been talking to was the boys. Because I come from the belief that it's the men who set the trend. We the ones who blaze the trend. So if we're going to get anything done in this community, men have to reassert themselves as the head. And it's not 100%. The woman's responsibility. Listen, I was totally feeling what you were saying about holding women accountable. We definitely have to do that. But at the same time, I'm harder on the men, not just because I'm a man, but I know what it takes to be a man and to be a leader of men. We can't expect the women listen, you're going to have a section of women that's going to twerk, going to pop their booties, going to sell their cooch and be on that pole. But guess what? You got a section of women now who are doing it just like you said earlier, because they're trying to impress the men. So we can keep those women off the pole if we would tell them we don't want you on the pole. But everything
not if we don't tell them, if we show them. We got to stop liking and going to the strip club. That's what we got to do. We can't just, because we keep trying to tell people, do as I say and not as I do. Like, that don't work. You can't tell women, I want you to be wholesome, but brother, you only following non-wholesome women.
Right.
You can't, it doesn't work. She's like, well, when I post my picture, you don't even like it. You know what I mean? That don't work.
Exactly.
Our actions got to change. But that video about holding the women accountable, that came after a bunch of videos that were dealing with men.
Oh, no doubt.
Women were just responding with some crazy stuff. And I'm like, hold on, y'all got to be held accountable for something also. You can't,
absolutely.
You can't. This sister literally came on my post and said, I can tell a man I want sex, go to his house at 4 a.m, get drunk, get naked, get in his bed, initiate sex, and still say no. I said, baby, you can't. Come on.
Well, a lot of women feel that way, though. A lot of women feel that way, and like Charles Barkley said in the '90s, a long time ago, he said, "Anytime a man has sex with a woman, be prepared for her to be able to say rape, because because the system is set up for them to be able to say that."
Yeah, but I'm not with it. We're gonna hold you accountable. Now, I'm not saying the man should just rape you, but you can't have in your mind that I can tell you I want sex, go to your house at night, get drunk, get naked, get in bed, initiate sex, and then say no. Like, come on. Nah, that's too much.
Hold on. It might be too much, but at that point, if she changes her mind, then if we talking about being a man, then you got to stop.
See, that's where I was going.
I'm not denying that, but I still gotta hold the woman accountable also. You can't just say, well, hold the man accountable, but look at all of the steps the woman took, and then you only want to hold the man accountable after she took 5 drastic steps up to the point of initiating sex and then saying no in the heat of the moment after you did all of that. She was talking about getting aggressive and initiating sex. Now I'm halfway in it, and then you say no in the heat of the moment.
I totally agree, but see, the laws are set up where they ain't trying to hear that.
I totally.
But there are so many different situations you can be in. You can initiate, take part in it to a certain point, and then if all of a sudden now you decide you don't want to be a part of it, you do have that right to say, well, even though initially I was with it, but now I ain't with it.
I agree with that. I believe you can be. He can be in you and halfway getting ready to come, and you can say stop. But what I'm saying is, we got to hold her accountable for her part too. That's
right.
all I'm
gonna say this. I think women got to be cautious about putting themselves in certain positions.
Yes. But now, I'm not saying if you go to the club with a short dress on, then you should get raped. No, ain't nowhere in the world. I'm not saying you never should get raped. But if you think that with that Amber Rose stuff, I can get in a man's bed naked and just still say no, baby. You took part in this. You took part in this. You can't have that mindset. Yes, the man should say no, but I can't hold you accountable for going over there and getting naked in his bed. I can't hold you accountable for that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's kind of like saying if you married and then one night you want to have sex and all of a sudden your wife don't want it, that she can't say no.
It's different. It's different between. I'm not saying you can't say no. Now, if you marry, of course you're going to be in the bed with your wife naked. And if she says no, that's totally different than me and you aren't married. You ain't got no reason to be in my bed naked. There's only one reason for you to be in my bed naked if we're not in a relationship. You're not my wife.
Right.
So I gotta be.
Well, that can be just coming from your opinion and your mindset.
That's coming from my opinion. So what other reason would a woman have to be naked in my bed?
Now, maybe she just wants to move and they go to sleep. I absolutely see where you're going. Now, I'm not gonna play crazy. I see where you're going. But at the end of the day, if somebody say no, like you say, man, that's going real far.
It's just like we ride to the store. All of us go to the store together, and everybody get out, and y'all decide y'all gonna rob the place, and then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I'm out of here. I was in that car. I'm still held accountable because I was with you.
Yeah. I'm not saying the brother has a right to rape her. What I'm saying is we have to hold the women accountable for their behaviors. So if you, it's like this. Right. It's like this, right? A white man should never lynch me. That's wrong. But if I choose to walk through a known KKK area at night by myself, you got to be like, why the hell was you there? You got to hold me accountable for putting myself in danger.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with knowing what kind of position you putting yourself in and being willing to deal with the consequences behind it. Because if you think about it, a while back when I said about how a female can put on certain clothes and she gonna draw certain attention. So if you present yourself a certain way, you may get attention, but you may not get it from the person you want to get it from. You know, so if you put yourself out there a certain way, people gonna look at you a certain way. You know, so you got to be prepared when you walk out there like that. If somebody's whistling at you or they say something crazy, you got to understand why they doing that. If you wearing shorts with your ass hanging out,
yeah, and you
know what I'm saying. But at the same time, that don't say that he's right for doing it. But you got to understand the position that you're putting yourself in.
definitely.
Now from that standpoint, I would
universe,
agree.
Yeah, the universe is going to give you the energy that you put out there. So these women want to say, well, in Africa, women be naked and nobody paying them no mind. Yeah, because if you look at them, they're not putting off sexual energy. You can put up a picture of a totally naked woman, an African woman, and put up a clothed picture of Amber Rose, and Amber Rose is going to have more sex coming off of her picture because she's putting out sexual energy.
Right.
So these women go out there with sexual posture, heels to make their butt sit up a certain way, push-up bras to sit your breasts a certain way, and then they walk and making sure they twitching their butt a certain way, pushing out sexual energy into the atmosphere, and then expect that they're not going to receive the sexual energy?
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
That's a very good point.
Let me ask you this real quick about this one post you said. I didn't get a chance to even hear it yet, but you said, if you're black and you love white people, then you must hate black people. Explain that.
Okay. All right. So I talk about black love. I talk about loving ourselves, putting ourselves first. Whenever I do videos calling black people to put black people first, I have a bunch of black people that tell me, you sound like you hate white people. So from their logic, what they're telling me is, if you want me to focus on loving black people, that means I hate white people. So I'm saying, well, you projecting your love towards white people. So if you focus on loving white people by your logic, not mine, by your logic, that means you hate black people. Because if me projecting my love for black people equates to hating whites, then you projecting your love for whites equates to you hating blacks, according to their logic.
Clever.
Like a lot of my videos be responsive to other stuff.
Yeah, clever, clever. I get you what you're saying. So you actually called in on the tail end of a discussion that I was having. We have a segment on this show where we go. What's called "Kill Yourself and Start Over." It's really a comedy segment, but it usually, as you can see, sometimes it goes off the rail. But Roland, correct me if I'm wrong, but Roland came on last week and he said that he talks about LeVar Ball. And called him an evil genius, which I agree, he might be an evil genius. But the flip side, since I know Roland, he's never been, to me, not been impressed with Obama. And to me, I feel like if you're impressed by, not impressed, but if you can give credit to LeVar Ball for being a black Donald Trump, how can you not give respect to President Obama? It was just really meant to be a little slight dig, but I guess it turned into something else. So, Roland, did I state that correct from basically what we were talking about for last week? I don't want to miss. Did I say
No,
it?
you good.
Okay.
I mean, the general gist of it, that was fine.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Okay.
How do you feel about that, bro?
Okay, well, I would definitely put LeVar Ball on a pedestal and put Obama in the grave. This is the reason why you can. This is why you can praise LeVar Ball and not Obama. What LeVar Ball is doing right now is completely going against the system, attempting to shatter it, to make sure black people do not succumb to the oppression of being forced to just be sponsors to somebody else's stuff, but that they can own their own stuff. What Obama did was make people feel comfortable about still being slaves. So you can definitely put LeVar on the pedestal, but Obama should be hated by all black people because he did nothing to go against the system. He wouldn't even open his mouth for us. He wouldn't even speak against oppression. He wouldn't even speak against the cops for killing black people. He wouldn't even.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
What did he say?
What
did he say? He said Trayvon condemned my son. That was it. He never condemned the police. He never condemned George Zimmerman. But as soon as the black man killed the cops, he condemned that man.
Okay.
Did he ever condemn the police?
Make sure you give that. Make sure you put that little applause drop and that bomb drop in there when you edit the day.
Okay. Wait. Okay, but no. He has criticized police. He's talked about being a black man and being treated unfairly by the police. I can show you that on YouTube where he's talked about that.
Show me where he condemned the police for their actions. He put up a post on his Facebook talking about you know, both sides need to listen because it's problems on both sides. Ain't no problems on both sides. Obama, you feel like a white man. We ain't did nothing but get beat, but get lynched, but get killed. We ain't did nothing. That man never came out and openly condemned anybody that did stuff against black people. Never. I take it back. I never saw or heard anything from him condemning anybody that did anything to black people. And he dropped bombs on Africa more than anybody else. He took that Viacom stuff to another level over there in Africa. It was him that stopped Gaddafi from United Africa and crippling everything in the U.S. It was Obama, his presidency, that has kept Africa from rising up. Him. So why in the world would I like him, but then have an issue with LeVar Ball, who's saying, no, we want to have our own sneakers. No, my sons are not going to be taken advantage of by the NCAA. And I don't think it's really going to work out really well for the Ball family. I think it's going to fall apart for them, but he's opening the door. Somebody got to be the sacrificial lamb. And LeVar Ball is the sacrificial lamb. Because now every young black boy and his father or mother is trying to find a way around getting extorted by the college, by the NCAA. They're trying to break the system. Obama was the system.
The brother just stated earlier, he went from the penthouse to the prep house. Brother, I did 1 year college and dropped out. Maybe I'm just not that elegant. The brother did a better job, I admit that. But I wasn't trying to claim his argument. I'm just saying that's essentially what I was trying to say. And my apology said if I wasn't as intelligent as him to say it. But that's what I was.
Okay, that ain't no put.
So Roland,
that ain't no put down on you, Roland. I ain't trying to put you down. Like I don't respect your intellect.
No. I didn't say that to be funny. I'm dead ass serious. Like I'm sorry if I didn't do a good job, but that's what through all my passion, that's what I'm essentially trying to say, man. Like the dude really didn't do nothing for us as a structure, against white supremacy, as the system.
So again, I asked the same question I've been asking since day one.
Which is?
What policies or whatever could Obama have put in place specifically for black people?
You gotta ask the guest. I don't know.
the same ones he put in specifically for the Jews when he gave them reparations for being Holocaust victims in Germany. He signed off on their reparations year after year for them to have money. And when it came to black people getting reparations out of his mouth, he says he doesn't think it's feasible. But yet you gave them to the Jews. And America didn't even do nothing to the Jews.
That's facts. I can't deny that. That's facts. I remember that.
I never understood why we was paying reparations. Like you said, we didn't even do that to the Jews. I didn't get that.
Because the quote unquote, the fake Jews, they're not real Jews.
Well,
the
we
fake
know that.
Jews run this country. All our tax money go to them. Every dollar of your income tax goes to the Zionists. Not $1 goes to the United States. Not $1. Every single one of your dollars in income tax goes to the Zionists. That's why your property tax is paying for the roads and paying for the schools. So where the hell are our income tax dollars going? It's going to the Zionists. Every single dollar. Going to the Rothschilds and all of those folks. Every dollar.
Oh man, I gotta have you on my show, brother.
Wow.
You preaching.
So Roland, are you saying that our guest has outdone you on the research?
Yes, well, I told you, he better than me, bro. I'm just a peon in this game.
So am I. So am I. Those guys are way more knowledge than me. I just know a whole lot about what I know a whole lot about, and that's what I talk about. That's the thing. I ain't gonna talk about stuff I don't know nothing about. I'm gonna sound smart in my lane.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, because we got another segment we want you to participate in. But I do want to ask you this. This week we saw this Keaton Jones bullying thing, and I know you made some posts about that. Explain that your take on that.
Well, my take on it is it ain't none of our business. Black kids. First of all, First of all, this whole bullying thing is something I really can't wrap my mind around. And where I'm from, everybody got bullied. There ain't nobody that got past getting teased and bust on. That was just a part of life. So now everybody's super sensitive.
That's how this show got started. Me and my best friend said on this show. That's how our relationship started, by him busting on me. Right? Pause. I didn't sound right.
Whoa, you ain't lying.
Whoa, out the closet, goddamn.
That's what we've done every night, man. Still to this day, I'm 36 years old, and still to this day, when I get with my friends and we go out, we ripping on each other. That's what we do. But when it comes to Keaton Jones, first of all, it was just a young 10-year-old black girl who was bullied and killed herself just a few weeks prior to him. Ain't nobody show her no love, show her no attention, send no money to her. But yet a little Caucasian boy gets on here lying. First of all, because all of it was a lie in an attempt to get money, because she ended up raising $60,000 just in that one day, and we got all this sympathy. And my thing is, listen, I don't have the sympathy to give to anybody who's not black. I have a queue, and my queue starts with my ancestors who were stripped from Africa and raped and pillaged and murdered and castrated. See, I got sympathy for them. I got too many people today who are still dealing with so much. I got a queue. You know, Keaton Jones, I'm gonna have sympathy for him one day when I get to him. But I got billions of black folks that I got to get through before I could ever have sympathy for Keaton Jones. I haven't got to him yet. I haven't even got to Khalif Browder yet. So how I'm going to get all the way to Keaton Jones when I'm still giving sympathy to ancestors. Not no sympathy for no Caucasian. It's not in the queue yet. They can't even get my prayers yet. They can't get my prayers. Not because I don't want to pray for them, but they gotta wait their turn. I'm gonna get to them if I live to be 1 million.
What's more interesting about I don't want to downplay the racial aspect, but I think what tells a bigger story, a bigger immediate story about this whole thing is, and I know, brother, you are very involved on different social media platforms, but I just want to speak about Instagram specifically for a second. And there's certain clusters of pages that are kind of grouped together, and I don't want to belittle anybody in these groups, but you have like the truth/conscious movement, right? And what upset me the most about this situation is I kind of run a different type of page. I don't react to everything that goes viral. And what was so disappointing is you saw so many truth/conscious pages caping up for this kid. And it wasn't, like you said, I understand the whole white aspect, but it went a little bit deeper for me. In my mindset, forget the fact that he's white for a second. It was the fact that y'all didn't look into it. And that's why I laugh. I'm tickled pink in the inside. We are so dumb when it comes to things across social media. We are so quick to reshare something because we saw somebody with a popular page reshare it. And I want to stress this to our listeners. Please be responsible. If you have a following, collect your thoughts, you ain't even got to do no research. Do a few seconds of fact checking before you share something. And then you won't have to worry about those large pieces of egg on your face. Because I laughed at their expense, bro. I'm not gonna lie, because we are just so dumb when it comes to this thing. We're so irresponsible.
And right now, I mean, I still want some of the black celebrities to come out and say something like, "Damn, I got it wrong," because y'all was posting it like crazy, posting it like crazy for this kid, you know. And it solidified my feelings for me, because when I first saw it, I almost felt bad, because it was a little kid talking about bullying. And I almost felt bad for like a second. Then by the second, I was like, man, I don't give a damn. I ain't worried about no damn little boy. And so then, I'm be honest with you guys, you know. So then I was feeling a little bit bad for not feeling bad. But I'm telling myself, listen, you ain't got time for him. You got to get to him, right? And then when the whole story broke, I said, see, now I knew I shouldn't have felt bad. Now I feel okay. Now I feel okay with not feeling bad, because as soon as you start feeling bad for them, you uncover. It's like Scooby-Doo. You pull off the mask and you see it was some white man that was trying to do something to you. So now you got a racist mom, you got a racist dad, you got a little boy who was calling little black boys niggers. And that's what I'm gonna say, I ain't showing no sympathy for y'all, because behind every Caucasian is somebody who dislikes me. So nah, y'all can keep it, man. Nah,
my sympathy meter didn't move an inch. My shit didn't move an inch. I said, fuck them, feed them dog food. Like you said on your people get bullied every day, B. Fuck out of here.
Every day, man.
Every day,
Every day.
Matter of fact, I posted the 12-year-old girl that hung herself. Man, don't get me wrong, I got a little bit of love on it, a couple reshares or whatever, but I feel like I don't break stories, but I was one of the first to share that one where she got beat up first on Musical.ly, and then she, went home and getting embarrassed and teased, she ended up hanging herself. I shared that shit, so when that Keaton thing came up, I'm like, motherfucker, there was a little girl just hung herself. And y'all ain't said a fucking word about that. I was hot.
At all. And that's the only difference with bullying today. Before, when we got bullied or we got teased, it stayed where it was at. Now, sometimes it hits the internet and go viral, and I can understand how that goes to another level, man, because if some of the stuff that was said to me or I said to somebody else went viral back in the day, man, it might have been crazy.
Follow Inside the Cave on Instagram for more thought-provoking ignorance. We repost, you decide. Now you feeling freer than you ever been. Hey, ladies! It's time for To Tell the Truth. Ladies, let's talk about it with Sly on Inside the Cave.
Check this out. We got a Facebook group. You're welcome to join. You're actually welcome to join it. I know you're on Facebook group. Now, it gets kind of wild in there. I don't know if you're still celibate or not, so you might not want to join it. But we talk about a lot of stuff. It goes down in there and everything like that. But Sly,
do yourself a favor, man. Stay away from that page, man.
Come on, man. We're here to promote stuff. It's Inside the Cave, bro. But anyway, we got Sly has a segment on here where we ask ladies a lot of questions and then we give our feedback to it. So let's lead into this Sly segment, the question of the day. Go ahead, Sly.
What's up, it's Sly. Question of the day for Inside the Cave podcast group. Mitchell, the question is, and fellas in the cave, is a man still considered head of the household and provider if him and his mate splits the bills in half? That's the question.
Well, I would say the man should still be the head regardless of what finances are. I couldn't consider him the provider if they're both splitting everything. Like, I think the man will still have the vision and will still be, the protector of the house and be the head. But how can you say how you're providing for her? She's paying half of everything.
Do you think it's a man's responsibility to pay for everything?
Is that so?
And if so, why? Is it just so you can wear the title of quote unquote provider, or do you think it's a solid right? Or what are your views or your thoughts on that?
And let me put a little cherry on top. Let me put a little cherry on top before you answer that, because soon as if for some reason that family don't make it, then you got the man that's rolling say with egg on his face because he done paid for everything and now he's screaming about she ain't did shit. I worked and she stayed home, so now she won't have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now the way I deal with things is not really about what's right or wrong, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. The way I try to make sure I deal with everything is it beneficial and is it not beneficial to the total building of our race? So my question would be, is it beneficial for our women to be leaving their 12-week-old children to run back to a job because they got to help pay the bills? Is it beneficial for our women and men to only really get to spend 2 hours with their children a day because they're both at work? They drop them off at school and then they come at the end of school and then they got 2 hours and they getting washed and fed and then they're going to bed. Is that beneficial to our race? So when we look back at the things that have really pushed us forward, It's when our women are there to be able to instill the value, the culture, the morals into the children. Now, our women cannot do that if they're out working and the child has to go to daycare somewhere where they're not teaching them any kind of principles that are conducive to Black nationhood. So it's not that I think it's a right thing for a man to be the provider or a wrong thing, but I don't think it's beneficial for a woman to be leaving her 12-week-old baby while she still got breasts full of milk, which God or created her to be home with the baby. That's why she got milk in her breast. She was not created to be out at work while she's having children. She is physiologically made to be home with the children. So I don't think it's beneficial for the woman to be leaving and going out to work. I think it's beneficial for our race for her to be home and instilling the morals and values and culture into the youth.
Well, hey, can you insert that bomb thing again?
Y'all be getting real quiet on me, man.
Well, hey, I got a different spin on that. I think when a man and woman come together and they decide they're gonna start a family, it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say that that it's that man's total responsibility to pay for everything, to be the full provider. I think once you come together, if you're supposed to be together, you're supposed to put it all together. So if you come together and you're doing shit as a team, you make decisions for your family based on you being together as a team. If that means that the wife needs to stay at home to be there with the kids, it might mean the man might need to stay home to be there. Whatever's going to benefit that family the best, that should be your
taken into consideration.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, if you put your stuff together, it's not like, okay, we're going to split the bills 50-50. You put your shit together, you take care of your bills, you take care of your responsibility. Yeah, you might have some fuck off money, she might have some, but you put your money together and you take care of what needs to be taken care of as a family. You both got access to make sure everything is getting done right if you got any questions, and you kind of go from there. But this thing that's saying that one person or the other person has to have a certain responsibility, it's going to be based on, I mean, what exactly are you bringing to the table when you come together as a couple? One of you may be more financially able than the other. You know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree with you if you're looking at things through a 2017 Western European capitalistic view of the world that has no idea or no concern for culture, that has no concern for us as African people, and we just want to be a part of the capitalist system. You make 100% sense, but you still cannot get around. They said, well, maybe a man should go home. You can't get around. The woman has breast in her milk. So no, the man was not created to be home. The woman is literally created to be with the child. We can't get around her physiological makeup.
I'm not disagreeing that she shouldn't be there for a period of time. When that baby is first here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for a certain period, yes.
This is how deep the woman's body is. Now, if a woman, say she had to go out and steal, right? If a woman works extremely hard, right, she will not get a period. She would not get a period. If she's,
like female athletes.
Yeah, they don't. And the reason being is because when the creator created her, she said, well, when you're doing the job of a man, you ain't supposed to have no babies, because when you have babies, you ain't supposed to be working like this. Well, we skip over all the physiological stuff. We skip over all of that. It's the reason why if you work too hard, you don't get pregnant. Why? Because when you get pregnant, you ain't supposed to be working that. You ain't supposed to be working that hard. We can't get around that. Now, we can have this lens of 2017, and I will agree with you from that lens, but I don't want to be stuck in trying to just fit in this world. I want to have conversations about what's most beneficial for our race. That's what I like to deal with, and not just what we have to settle with because we're here.
You got to take care of your family first before you can. If you can't take care of self first, you can't take care of nobody else. So once you start a family, I mean, you got to decide on what's best for you and your family first before you can take on anything else. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. But when you're looking, it depends what lens you're looking through. If you're looking through the white man's lens,
it's not about a white man's lens. It's if you come together,
because he's created this whole paradigm that we're in. So everything when you're looking at, well, the man might stay. The moment you say, well, the man might stay home, that's through this Western European capitalistic lens. That is not from some African lens where the man is just staying home with the children.
I never said that I think the man should stay home.
There's no disrespect.
I never said the man should stay home. I think a man's supposed to be a man. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of cases where the man is being the man, and then, you know, the woman might be going to school, getting her shit straight. Then there comes a point in time where she gets into her career. Now his ass is left behind. What I'm saying is you got to look at everything as a whole, and you make decisions based on that.
Well, I'm not going to
that don't make it right. Just because that's what they chose, that's for them.
I didn't say about that particular situation being right, but what I'm saying is you make decisions based on your family and how you come together. Yes, if you bring a child into this world, every man I would hope would want to be in a position to where their wife can stay home until their kid gets to be a certain age. I mean, who would disagree with that?
I just don't. I don't understand. With all due respect, I don't understand why we make these scenarios in these arguments. Because here's the thing: there's a such thing as a creation role, okay? And this is whatever you believe in, whatever you believe we are, we're mammals, right? In every single pairing of mammals, each one has a job. It's simple as that. So whether you want to look at it, I know the guest, Brother Mitch, is saying African. I'm not even taking it that deep. I'm talking about as a human being. Listen, the man is supposed to work. The woman's supposed to be at home if there's kids involved. I understand. I have a woman. We own a business. She runs the business. She's a hairstylist, right? So she works, but we have teenage children, right? But here's the thing. If you're talking about taking away from what the family's supposed to be doing, then there's some sacrifices that need to be made. You can't say, oh, well, she needs to work to help the family. Well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, the people who want to go work, they want to get out of the house. You see what I'm saying?
Did you not hear what I said? Isn't that what I said, Roland?
Let me finish.
But that's what I said, though. You trying to make it seem as though I didn't say that.
But what I'm saying is that doesn't make it right. The best thing to do would be is not. Why would you go to work?
What I'm saying is you can't decide what's best for somebody else's household. They got those two people that comes together have to sit down together and decide on what they think is best for them.
Yeah, but it's not what's best for them, though. They're making it seem like it's what's best. Because
how are they making it seem like what's best?
Because it's not conducive to raising children.
Exactly. You did not hear what I said, Roland. What I said was when two people come together, when they decide they're gonna start a family, they decide what's best for them. And if what's best for them is for the wife to stay home with the kid in the early years, that's fine. I'm saying you got to come together. You can't just say it's supposed to be one way or the other. You come together. You come together as man and wife, and you decide what do you think is best for your situation.
Bro,
but initially, what the question was talking about the man splitting the bills, and what I'm saying about when you're talking about bills, now you've gotten past that point where you're saying, okay, both of y'all working, and both of you guys are bringing money into the household. So if you're supposed to be as one, you're supposed to do things as one.
No,
you put your shit together and you take care of your responsibilities in your house as one, and you pool your money together the same way you pool every goddamn thing else together.
No doubt.
So you can still have your own personal thing on the side.
Nowadays, it's not like that, dog. That's why I'm asking this question. So financially, let me give you this hypothetical.
I'm saying your household as a man can be whatever you want it to be.
Let me give you another. Let me throw in a piece of this scenario. Let's say you paying your mortgage, you paying you and your wife's car note and the insurance. Your wife is paying everything else. Are you considered the head of your household and the provider?
Now you're talking about splitting the bills.
The question was about splitting the bills.
That's what he started off with. That's what he started off
that's
with.
what I'm saying.
I'm being specific though right now. I threw in some stuff to be specific. If you paying,
and I'm gonna stick right to this. I ain't gonna go no further. The man should be the head no matter what. No matter what.
Okay, so
no matter what, the man should be the head.
So let me flip that scenario. Your wife brings in more income than you. She's paying the mortgage and the car notes and the insurance. Are you the head of the household?
The man should be the head regardless.
The man is still the head no matter what.
But not the provider.
Well, should he be the provider or is he the provider? I mean, I don't know.
If the roles were reversed and she was paying the majority, the most of the bills, financially most, the mortgage, the high mortgage, the car notes.
I personally think
is your question, is the man the provider, or is your question is the man the head of the household? Which one is it?
It was both. Those were in both. Those questions were in both.
But it can't be both. It can't be both.
I think that if you're in a relationship and money is deciding which way the relationship is going, then your relationship really ain't about shit. Money shouldn't dictate which way your relationship should go. Y'all should already have an understanding of how this is going to go. And I think, like you all said, the man should be a man. A man should be a man, regardless if he bring in $5 or $500,000. He should always be the man, and he should know what that role is of being a man. So that's my take on that. Money shouldn't dictate.
There you go, CB. About time you said something.
Well, I mean, it's hard to get a role in.
Financial status is not going to determine if you're a man or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not deny that some women in those positions do make it about that.
Well, that's why you shouldn't marry those. You shouldn't marry those women then. You know, that's why that's why a lot of those women are single. You see a lot of those women. Hey, our guests, I want to get your take on that. How many times you heard a woman say, "I got my college degree, I got a good job, I got this, I got that, but I can't get married"? You just listed the reason why you can't get married. You just listed those reasons why. You think because you got all that, you deserve to be put on a pedestal or deserve to be treated better than somebody else. No, you're a woman. I don't care what you got. That doesn't make you.
So piggybacking off what you just said, which I believe he was nodding his head on, there was a statement that got a lot of people, especially black women, up in arms. The Prince Henry, what's the prince's name?
Harry. Harry.
Yeah, got engaged to that little half and half girl from that one show. That actress, in ABC.
Megan, whatever.
Yeah, Megan something, Huntley or something. I don't know. Anyway, they made a statement that had black women fired up, and it said that Megan chick gives black women hope. And I didn't address it, but what's funny is if I was more eloquent, my thought process was, although it was wrong for them to post that, based on what CB just said, and I believe you agreed with, was they really wrong? Was they really
saying that? They were 100% wrong by alluding to black women having hope because somebody married a white man.
Right.
But see, that's not the way I took
it. Married royalty, for that matter. It ain't even about the white man. They like married white man. She married royalty. So now everybody think they gonna marry royalty.
She married a prince.
But it's a white man. That's the problem. People have married African princes and they haven't posted it and said that. The issue is you think it's hope for a black woman to marry a white man, and that was the problem.
So that's what you gather from that, then.
100%. And that's what everybody else seemed to gather from it.
See, I looked at it a different way because I know my issue was more what CB just said about that successful woman. They even had a big show about it back in the early 2000s where they had a panel on BT or on NBC nightly news and everything where this successful black woman with degrees and doing it big, and she can't find a husband because she's looking for what this one brother wrote a book on. He called it the Denzel factor. is where they're looking for this mythical man that doesn't exist. So from a conscious movement perspective, okay, I got what you're saying about the white man thing, but where my mind went was they taking a stab at successful black women can't get married, which is an issue in our community.
I didn't look at it like that at all.
Okay.
Just thinking about what you just asked, Ro, with Megan, but didn't Janet Jackson marry a prince?
Right.
I know Eve is married to some gazillionaire dude.
Yeah. The same thing with Janet. This dude was some big time a billionaire.
Yeah, and then she divorced him. We had that on the show before you came on, Sly.
Yeah, Janet was accused of selling pussy.
Yeah.
She did her 5 years and 2 weeks or whatever, and she got out.
Yeah. And she was out with the baby and everything.
She did $500 million for her and $500 million for the baby.
Yes, sir.
But she did all that, but yeah, she out here on tour.
Right.
She did it so she could go on tour because he stopped all that.
Oh, he blocked that?
Man, he had her putting on clothes. You know how Janet performed.
Oh, I know that part.
He had her covering up. She couldn't do certain dance moves no more. So, yeah, she waited her time and she bounced.
So, and she knew that. This is what our guest was talking about, holding black women accountable. I said it when it first happened. I love Janet, and I know one of our guys, Lamar, he has a crush on her. But Janet was a high-class prostitute for that man. She was a slut. She sold that man pussy. That's what she did.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
Women don't want to hear it. See, it was somebody else that they were talking about. Oh, this is the last question that we're gonna let you go. So compare that to what Mary J. Blige is going to. Black women have a fit about Mary J. Blige and her husband, but they honor Janet Jackson and what she did. Tell me it's not the same thing.
Or Mariah Carey.
Tell me it's not the same.
I mean, it's always a double. Well, it's double standards all over the place. So I guess the woman is always going to feel better when she gets than when she has to give. You know, so I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the whole Mary J. Blige situation. I don't know if he just was trying to get money or if he was messing with her Mary and was cheating and just doing her wrong. I don't really know. But Mary got to get herself together. She's 40-something years old, still singing "Good guys ain't no fun" and "Bad guys ain't no good." So you know,
right.
Mary got to watch what she attracted because she still seeing that she likes guys that ain't no good.
Right. Hey man, thanks for coming on, man. I want you to give everybody your social media, promote whatever you got to promote, man. Coming on Inside the Cave.
Definitely. As you started off in the beginning, I'm a 5-time author, so I have 5 different books that you can find on mchance.com, MCHANCE, speaks with an S.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, it's mchancespeaks, or on Facebook, Mitchell Nkrumah, NKRUMAH Speaks. That's all of my handles.
All right, that was our guest. Once again, don't forget to go to cavecrushshop.com, shop all things Cave Crush. Get the new Sly shirts. Ladies, let's talk about it. Cleveland Report Podcast shirts is on there. Hoodies, long sleeve tees. Please go to cavecrushshop.com. Listen, we've been putting on this show going on 3 years. All right. All we ask you to do, if you want to support the show, get a Cave Crush shirt. We're actually giving you something back. We're giving back. It's not. We've been entertaining you for 3 years. That's the least you can do. You owe us that much. All right. Go to cavecrushshop.com. Get you a shirt. Rep the crew. Rep Inside the Cave. Rep Cave Crush. And that's all. Once again, shout out to our guest, B.F. Nkrumah, coming on. Follow him again. And leave us some feedback on this week's show. All right. Don't forget to join our Facebook page, Inside the Cave Podcast group. Ladies, let's talk about it. Listen to the Cleves Report Podcast on Monday. New episodes every single Monday. And if nobody else got anything else, Big Dog, go ahead and get us out of here.
Hey, on behalf of the guys at Inside the Cave, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all ass next week.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Cave.
Inside the Cave now brings you the official store to get all things Cave Crush and Inside the Cave at cavecrushshop.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cave Crush and like our Facebook page, Cave Crush Shop.
Inside the cave.
Inside the cave.
Inside the cave.
Inside the cave.
Inside the cave. Inside the cave. You're on the #1 show, Inside the Cave.
3 Lee Films.